Scientists have discovered how happiness works through scientific research. In this video, we'll talk about this scientific formula. But first, I want to share an example from my own life. I'm currently 30 years old. 10 years ago, when I was 20, I imagined my life at 30 would be like this: working at a prestigious company, having a happy marriage, and making a good income. But reality turned out differently. Now, at 30, I'm not working at the company I dreamed of. I'm not married, I don't have a boyfriend, and I'm not making the money I hoped for. Maybe in society's eyes, I'm seen as unsuccessful. Do you think so? I believe it depends on the person. If my 20-year-old self saw my current life, she would be disappointed because her thoughts were different back then. My dreams were like everyone else's: a high-paying job, a car, a house, and a good partner. But now I think, does everyone have to live like that? I don't want a standard, boring life. I don't work for a company right now. I'm not a homeowner and I'm single. By the time I turned 30, I had worked various jobs and had boyfriends, but I got tired of my job and left because I wanted to do what I love. I wasn't happy, so I started researching happiness. I was very curious about what makes people happy. I did a lot of research on this and wanted to share it with you. My name is Asiya. On this channel, you'll find content about how to change our thought patterns for the better: motivation, personal development, mental health, and positive thinking. Welcome to my channel. For most people, happiness is a fleeting feeling that comes and goes. For example, you get angry at something. It's a temporary feeling. Someone says something nice to you. That's also temporary. I want to instill a deeper sense of happiness in people. What makes a person feel fulfilled and successful? What do you need to do to live a happy life? Most people are so busy with life that they don't even think about happiness. Even if we have the time, we don't think much about it. I'm sure most of you have never even asked yourselves, what makes me happy? On this channel, I will share videos about what makes people happy, and I hope to make many people happy. These videos will be based on logical explanations and scientific research. Recently, many people have been suffering from stress, anxiety, and depression. I'm sure you sometimes sit at home and think everyone else is happy, and you're the only one who's unhappy. You feel like a failure. You feel worthless. You think, why can't I be like them? You blame yourself, feel very lonely, and think no one understands you. I'm sure everyone thinks this way sometimes, but it's very normal. Is there a formula for it? Let me tell you a story. In 1995, American Martin was weeding the garden with his daughter when he got angry and scolded her, telling her to clean the weeds properly. His daughter responded, "Dad, if I, a 5-year-old girl, can manage not to complain, you can stop being a grumpy adult." This Martin in the story is Martin Seligman, the founder of positive psychology. According to Martin, this conversation with his daughter led him to establish positive psychology. So what is positive psychology? Martin Seligman believes that constantly thinking negatively is wrong. Positive psychology deals with how a person with a normal psychology can become happier. In summary, positive psychology is a branch of psychology that seeks to answer questions with scientific research, such as what makes people happier, what makes life more meaningful, what we need to do to feel better, and how people can realize their potential. Scientists have done a lot of research on positive psychology and have gained a lot of information on this topic. Unfortunately, humans did not evolve to be happy. The human brain evolved to survive. This code has been passed down from our ancestors. In the past, during the Paleolithic era, when people saw an unknown wild animal, they didn't know what to do, and thoughts of fight or flight would arise in their minds. Think of it as a code written into our DNA. In psychology, this is called fight or flight mode. This mode is a survival mechanism for humans. It's a mechanism where we quickly learn from such dangerous situations, remember them, and recall them later. But let's consider the opposite. For example, in the past, when a person found a very delicious fruit in the forest, they ate it and enjoyed it. Eating the fruit was a positive experience for the person, but for the brain, it's not as important as a fear experience. Because a person can be killed by a wild animal, and that's more important for the brain. It's our brain's way of protecting us. Therefore, the human brain is developed to remember negative thoughts more easily than positive ones. Modern humans are not much different from Paleolithic humans. Why? Because we haven't lost the traits we gained back then. The Paleolithic era covers a large part of human history. But now, compared to the past, the difference is that in the past, people, our ancestors, experienced dangerous situations more rarely. But now, there are many more stress-triggering factors around us, so we enter fight-or-flight mode much more often. What are the stress-triggering factors? Social media, car horns, loans, the economy, uncertainties, and many other things. According to research, 60 to 70% of the human brain is spent making predictions. That is, your brain tries to predict possible scenarios and outcomes. This is what I call overthinking. For example, what will I do if I get fired? Why was that person rude to me? The brain is always in a state of worry. So how do these thoughts form in the brain? Of course, based on our past experiences. Which of our past experiences are we more likely to remember? The negative ones. So most of the predictions and scenarios in our heads are based on negative thoughts. The more we think negative things, the more stressed we become. So the source of stress and anxiety is based on the survival mechanism in people's brains. This might seem like a bad trait in humans, but it's a necessary one. Can we control negative thoughts? Of course, yes. According to research, the brain has a great feature. And thanks to this feature, we can change the software in our brain. This wonderful feature of the brain is called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the ability to make physiological changes in the brain by altering the structure, location, and connections of nerve cells through thought. Let me explain this more simply. For example, you're watching this video right now. When you finish watching this video, your brain and thoughts will have changed because what you hear, learn, and think while watching this video will change the nerve structures in your brain. The daily experiences and situations we encounter cause physiological changes in our brains. It used to be thought that the brain's structure didn't change after adolescence, but recent studies on adult brains have proven that the brain's structure can change at any age. The brain's structure changes as it works, learns new things, reads books, watches this video, etc. It's like going to the gym and working out. The more we work our muscles, the faster they develop, and the same principle applies to the brain. There was a study done on taxi drivers in England. The part of the brain responsible for navigation is called the hippocampus, and studies found that taxi drivers have much larger hippocampus compared to normal people, because they use their hippocampus a lot. Then it was determined that the taxi drivers with the largest hippocampus were those who did more transportation. In summary, the more you work a part of the brain, the more it develops. So, you become what you think. We can control our brains this way. Let's think of our negative thoughts as a code written in our brains. And through neuroplasticity, we can change these codes. It's like writing a new code instead. It's possible to write a code where we experience less stress, become more positive, and feel better. This is what science and positive psychology tell us. We can learn to be happy, just like we learn to ride a bike. However, many people are not even aware of this. Anyway, I talked too much about this. In future episodes, I will share other ways to be happy with you. Take good care of yourselves, beautiful people. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss new videos. I'm very curious about your thoughts on this video. Please share your thoughts in the comments.